Information destruction options. Whether you're a medical facility or a financial institution, a Fortune 500 company or a small business, your organization has confidential information that needs to be securely destroyed. There are a number of ways you can destroy your confidential information, including recycling, using an office shredder, or hiring a shredding company to do everything for you. Let's take a look at each option. We'll start with recycling. Now, we can all agree that from an environmental standpoint, it's important to recycle. But when it comes to recycling confidential information in the form of paper documents, there's a big difference between recycling and secure recycling. You see, many recycling companies don't shred confidential information. They bring your discarded documents back to their facility where they hand sort these documents to separate out the white paper because white paper has the highest recycling value. The unskilled workers hired by recycling companies to sift through your confidential documents are not required to submit to criminal background checks or random drug testing. And let's face facts, an employee with a drug problem or a criminal record is far more likely to steal your confidential information for personal gain. After the recycling company hand sorts your discarded documents, they are stored for days, weeks, or even months until there is a large enough quantity to sell. Your unshredded confidential documents, still intact, are then baled and shipped overseas where they may be stored again for even longer periods until they are finally used to make new products. Now here's something you might not know. When you give documents to a recycling company, you relinquish all rights to the information contained on those confidential documents. So if they are not shredded and this information falls into the wrong hands, your organization will be held liable. That's why it's best to avoid recycling companies and choose an information destruction option where you shred first and then recycle. If you follow our shred first advice, there are two categories from which you can choose. You can either do it yourself by using an office shredder or hire a shredding company to handle everything for you. Let's compare those two options. Using an office shredder is certainly better than not shredding at all, but it doesn't compare favorably to choosing a shredding company in a number of key areas. Using an office shredder is far less secure because most office shredders use a cross-cut or ribbon cut method to shred paper. So when these strips of paper are discarded or recycled, dumpster divers can sort through the trash and reconstruct these paper strips. This gives them easy access to confidential information you thought was destroyed. In fact, this form of information fraud is so common, now there's software that can be ordered online to help these thieves scan and reconstruct shredded documents. But an even bigger information security threat from office shredders stems from the way most organizations treat the do-it-yourself shredding process. When employees handle their own document shredding, some consider security and some do not. But even the most security-conscious employees can leave stacks of confidential documents on their desks or next to the shredder when they get too busy to shred them in a timely manner. And this exposes vital information that can be accessed by a number of high-risk groups, including disgruntled employees, temps, minimum wage workers, deliverymen, and even guests. Office shredders can also leave your organization vulnerable in audits and lawsuits. The reason is because in-house shredding programs don't adhere to a regular shredding schedule, and they usually don't provide any documentation of what's been shredded, when it's been shredded, or by whom. So in an audit or a lawsuit, when a question arises as to why some documents were shredded and why others were not, organizations without documentation will be deemed to exhibit irregular shredding practices, and they will suffer the consequences. Now, if using office shredders are less secure than hiring a shredding service, and office shredders can leave you vulnerable in audits and lawsuits, then why do organizations still use them? The answer is simple. There is still a perception that it costs less to use an office shredder than it does to use a shredding service. And if that's what your organization thinks, then what I'm about to say may surprise you. Not only are office shredders more expensive to operate, they can actually cost twice as much as a monthly shredding service. To illustrate, here's an example. A small business we'll call Wally's Widgets uses an office shredder to destroy confidential documents. Wally has 5 full-time employees, and they spend, on average, 3 minutes a day shredding these documents. Now, the 3 minutes per day per employee is actually a conservative figure when you consider that do-it-yourself shredding involves walking to the shredder, removing staples and paper clips, straightening the pages, hand-feeding a couple pages at a time, and periodically emptying the shred bag and cleaning the shredding area. But for this example, we'll stick with 5 employees times 3 minutes per day per employee, which gives us a total daily shred time of 15 minutes. Since the average hourly wage of Wally's employees, including benefits, is $16.19, and we know that there are roughly 21.5 working days in a month, we can now calculate the cost. We take the average hourly wage of $16.19 times 25 hours, which is 15 minutes of shred time. It gives us a daily shredding cost of $4.05. Multiply the daily cost times 21.67, the average number of days worked in a month, and Wally's total monthly labor cost to operate their office shredder is $87.71. Factor in the purchase price of the shredder, depreciation, and maintenance, and it gives us a monthly equipment cost of $9.87. Add the monthly equipment cost and the monthly labor cost, and Wally's grand total cost of operating an office shredder is $97.58 per month, which again is about twice the cost of hiring a shredding company for ongoing service. When you consider information security, protection in audits and lawsuits, and overall cost, using a shredding service is clearly better than using an office shredder. But if you plan on hiring a shredding company for ongoing service, you should know that there are two types of shredding services: off-site and on-site. These services are similar in some respects because your everyday confidential documents are deposited in locked bins by your employees and then picked up at your location by a uniformed shredding company driver. Bins are usually provided free of charge, and ongoing service is scheduled at regular intervals, either weekly, every 2 weeks, or every 4 weeks. And of course, almost all shredding companies recycle your shredded paper regardless of which shredding service they offer. But here's how these two types of shredding services differ. In offsite shredding, which is also called plant-based shredding, confidential documents from each customer on the driver's route are secured in locked containers and placed on the truck. At the end of the day, the driver brings the truck with all the loaded security containers back to the shredding company's facility. There, while surveillance cameras monitor and record the entire process, all your materials are shredded into small, unreadable pieces. What you may not know is that offsite shredding companies also make a lot of money by recycling your discarded paper. In order to get top dollar from recycling companies, offsite shredding companies must first separate your white documents, like copy paper and stationery, from your colored documents, such as yellow legal paper and file folders. So if you choose an offsite shredding company, you can be sure that their employees will hand sort all your confidential documents, allowing unwanted access to your confidential information. This process can expose your customers to identity theft and fraud, and expose your organization to severe fines, bad publicity, and lost business. If you're willing to sacrifice information security to save a little money, offsite shredding may be right for your organization. On-site shredding offers the highest level of information security. As the name implies, on-site shredding means that all confidential materials are shredded on-site at your location. The hydraulic lift of an on-site shredding truck raises a filled container, and your confidential information is shredded in a matter of minutes. And because the process is automated, the driver never touches your confidential documents. Many of the newer high-tech on-site shredding trucks have a camera and video monitor which allows you to view the entire shredding process. That way you can be 100% sure that all your confidential documents have been shredded. On-site shredding can cost slightly more than off-site shredding, but if you want to ensure the highest level of information security for your organization at a rate that is still about half the cost of using your office shredder, choose an on-site shredding company like ShredQuick that has been rated AAA certified by the National Association for Information Destruction. For more information about our shredding services and to find out how you can get 30 days of free shredding without any obligation, just give us a call at 1-866-934-3300 or visit our website at shredquick.com.